Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Super Breakdown. Today we're taking a look at the MS-05S Zaku 1 Commander type, piloted by Garret Schmittzer of the Midnight Fenrir Corps. Very excited. I love this suit, and I'm going to try not to be biased, but I'm probably going to be biased, so here we go. You have your basic shot with the submachine gun. Not too bad at all. When you run out of shots for it, instead of reloading it, you get a Zaku machine gun. Just a standard Zaku machine gun. It does less damage than the submachine gun, but it still does the job fairly well. I think the shots track better on the submachine gun as well. But as you can see, it's not bad. It has less shots per burst, in 10 shots per burst, but then it reloads. So definitely handy. You have the cannon, the bazooka, the Rakuten bazooka that you can sidestep and fire. You can fire standing still. Of course, you can see it has slight tracking on it. Because of the sidestep alone, the added mobility for Garret Schmitzer's is great. When you run out of the Rakuten, you get a standard Zaku bazooka. Doesn't have as many shots, doesn't track quite as well, doesn't do quite as much damage, but still pretty nice. You're not completely out of it forever. You have another option. You cannot, however, sidestep with the standard Zaku bazooka. Something to remember there. You have the grenade. That reloads. You do not lose that. It isn't replaced by anything. You also have Striker, which fires the Rakuten bazooka. Fires 2 shots. It's very handy. And then you have your burst. Melee burst. It's pretty good. Does the job. For a 300, not too bad. Still haven't got to show off the grenade yet. We'll get there, though. You have this charge that if you connect with it, allows you to immediately go into a melee combo. The charge also gives you hyper armor while you have it. You can get through quite a few attacks that way. You can even run into a Garobi. It will eat a little bit of a Garobi's damage, but as you see the 100 there, that is your shield count of your hyper armor. It goes away almost immediately when you run into a Garobi, so definitely be careful there. It is just a straightforward charge. There is no other alternative to it or anything of the sort. You just charge forward, go in for it, and you can do some good damage. It also allows you to cover some ground pretty quickly. There's standard melee. We can... Nope, this with a grenade again. You have side melee, which is not too bad at all. Back melee is a counter. For physical attacks, it will counter. It's pretty nice. And then you have forward melee. Bad at all. One day we'll hit with that grenade. As we go into the second round here, we'll just finish him off. As we go into the second round here, of course, we have to ask, should you use Garret Schmitzer's Zaku 1? Absolutely, you should use Garret Schmitzer's Zaku 1. I think it's one of the best mid-range suits in the entire game. The combination of the Rakuten bazooka and the Zaku bazooka that give you some decent long-range options, even though the tracking's not amazing on them. You can see there's no tracking at all till you get to Redlock. Once you're in Redlock, if you then fire and they go out of Redlock, it will still try to track, though it's not perfect. It won't always hit. I think the charge is really amazing. What you can do there is really cool. I wish it had something other than the counter, honestly, for back melee. I just don't find a lot of use for counters in this game, because most of the time when you're getting hit by a melee, you weren't prepared for it in the first place, because they were sidestepping you. I think the melee combos themselves are decent. I wish they were a little bit better, but when you pair that in with the charge, I can't really complain too much, because it gives you the option to really get in there and track them down. The grenade could be a little bit easier to hit with. That would be great, but all in all, I think Garret Schmitzer's Zaku 1 is a really, really solid shoot. One of my favorite things to do with it is to run the chain gun pretty much dry, just getting some pepper damage on them. I know that's not the most efficient way to use it, but even if they attempt to dodge, the submachine gun is really good at tracking them down. And then once it's gone, just going in for the melee, using the charge, using up my bazooka shots. Really want to hit with this grenade, but it does. It has the burn effect, where it staggers them when it hits, and it's really nice. I just think this is a really good suit. Again, I'm trying not to be super biased with it. I love Zaku 1s already, design-wise, and Zaku 2s, honestly, but design-wise, I love Zaku 1s. And I just think that, there it is, I just think that Garret Schmitzer's is one of the better ones. Another cool effect that the grenade has is that if you can see the cloud around him there, it is now harder for him to get red lock on me. As long as that is on. It will dissipate soon. I think basically after we get a good combo on him. But it's really nice. Because it makes it a little bit easier for you to get in on somebody. There's the full burst. As you can see, very cool. Very cool. And then we will round this out. Interesting to note too, unlike some other suits, you do not get your temporary equipment back after you burst. It is just gone now. Until you die. With all that said, though, I have been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. And remember to always enjoy the Full Spectrum. Garret Schmittzer Zaku 1 has to offer.